because I've got the, you know, the ability to just walk over to my underwriter or my doctor or my appraisal manager and just, you know, push things through a little bit quicker. And that's not necessarily the reason why I love it here as much as I do for, you know, many other support reasons that we get. You know, alluding to appraisal, having the control, not going out to the abyss and hoping that somebody in Iowa doesn't, you know, review my property in Poets Corner and Pleasant Hill, which gives for a lot higher value than, you know, what the average city price there is. And our reviews, our, you know, process in the appraisal area, just that's some of the stuff that hits the realtors pretty hard. Is with Wells, B of A, you know, the likes of brokers. They just can't get, you know, a straight answer on the appraisal, whether it's the timing issue, the value issue, or you know, if you do need to rebut it, it just doesn't happen. And if it does, it takes, you know, days, weeks, whatever.
While you pull your hair out.
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel we have control there. Our underwriters are very common sense. I mean, they got to follow the guidelines, but you know, I'm able to go over there and bend and twist, and you know, I'm in relationship with them, so they're all pretty nice people. You know, they're not, you know, the underwriter that you deal with in, again, Iowa with Wells Fargo brokering a loan, somebody you don't even know and care less about you. So I think there's a lot of concern, you know, for the better well-being of not only the client but the loan officer, and in reverse, I think the loan officers generally do have a little bit more respect for who helps them here. Things have changed. You know, we used to have a processor and we used to put stated income on there, and the loan would get submitted in 5 minutes and it would get approved in 2 minutes, and we go to docs. Well, as we all know, that's changed dramatically. So what Scott's provided is not only a processor that knows what's going on and actually does a little bit more than what the average processor, I think, does at most firms, but also provides a support person in what they call, I think, a pre-processor. I forget the actual title to the position.
Sales coordinator?
Sales coordinator, thank you. And it's frankly an assistant to you. So, you know, I have a conversation with my client. I discuss, you know, what's best for them and let them know what they're qualified for. You know, this is on a whim, you know, whether I run their credit or not. I'm looking at their deal and not getting anything formal, but once I get them to go, hey, this sounds great, let's do it. The online process here is so smooth and simple. It takes them 5 to 10 minutes to fill the app out. There's a box to check to authorize us to run credit. Once that's done, I can go into the file, look at what they say their income is, run their credit, look at their debt, and see if the refi works, or of course the pre-qual mainly on the purchase works. I will verbally and or via email, phone, whatever, call the client back, let the realtor know, hey, we look good, however, you know, now it's time to get all the documentation to support it. So basically what happens is they turn a file in via the email, and then we can meet with them in person, but this is what most folks choose to do, and it's a lot easier. Once we accomplish that, and we get kind of in our mindset, hey, this is a doable deal, I'm done, almost, unless there's a problem. Erin, who's my sales coordinator, rifles out a hit list of conditions. She follows up, collects the conditions, gets them in, downloads them, lets Vanessa know that, you know, the processor, that everything's loaded in and the Vanessa DOs are all P's in. And that happens as quickly as the client gets the stuff in. I mean, literally, they got their stuff in today, and it's, what, 1:30 today, and you know, we were pretty busy, but certainly by tomorrow, we'd know if this loan's doable or not via the LPDO.
Gotcha.
And then once that occurs, again, we get the supportable documentation back from the client to formalize what they said their income was, their cash position, so on and so forth. And then at that point, really, it's about them going out and buying a house and or, you know, starting the refi process. So the upfront support that you get here, indifferent from what I had at my company, because I always had my assistants, my personal loan processor. And mind you, I do between 20 and 30 deals a month, so I've always had kind of my own team. You know, it's a different system for most folks, I think, when they come over here, unless, of course, you've had that luxury of an assistant. But the cool thing about this is they pay for it. So, you know, they're paying to support you, the loan officer, to go out there and do what you do best, which is sell. You know, I mean, for me to sit there and DO files and fumble through guidelines, you know, with exception to the basic stuff that I should know, or anyone should know as a loan officer, is a complete waste of time. I mean, I can't do 30 deals a month if I didn't have people doing all this stuff for me. That's a win for the bank, obviously, because of the volume. It's a win for the girls because they get bonus on each deal. And obviously it's a win for me, but most importantly, I think it's a win for the customer, because we get things done start to finish here on purchases. It's not unlikely if someone calls me and says, can you close in 2 weeks? The answer is yes. It's just a matter of how quickly your client or the buyer gets me their info. If they got their info in and they're reactive to what we ask for, or proactive, I guess is a better word, we're done. Just like everybody, we have our issues with value in some cases. Never on a purchase. I have not had one purchase come in light that has affected the deal within a few
That's a function
thousand
of the area or a function of the appraisal manager?
Well, I like to say it's a function of the appraisers we have on our list. The great thing about Scott and this company is they come to guys like me, Rotner, Calvin, who's our Colorado stud. Hey, who are the good appraisers in the area? Who do you guys like? Who have you used for over the years? So if I think this is a recruiting video, when you are pulling people in, find out who they like as an appraiser. We'll put them on their list if they're legit, they're licensed, and they do a good job.
Clear background. Whatever.
Yeah, why would we have somebody on there we don't know or aren't referred from one of our loan officers that are good? So, I don't do all my deals in this area, but locally, the appraisers that I know, which is a lot of them in this area, will usually get assigned, to the deals in the county or the town that they live in, and boy, it goes smooth as silk as far as valuation goes.
And they like working with that appraisal manager with us.
Oh yeah,
our appraisal
for sure.
manager company. So it goes both ways.
It really does, and I think that they like it. The appraisal management team here, excuse me, very accessible, very touchable. It's one thing I didn't allude to earlier is everybody's very touchable here. Another big product of ours is flips. Now, many of our investors, many of our competitors that are mortgage banks have an internal overlay, and you guys may experience that down south or wherever you're at. Even though Wells will accept and buy, so will Chase, and I think PennyMac, one of our new investors, another good source for us, will accept, because FHA accepts them.
Right.
Fannie and Freddie accepts them.
Non-season title.
Correct. Investor goes in, buys a house today, 2 weeks later, puts 50 grand into it, puts it on the market, and wants to close it in 3 weeks. Well, the normal 90-day flip rule for Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and FHA is doable. But most big banks, like Wells Direct, B of A Direct, retail branches, they absolutely don't do it. Our mortgage banking competitors don't do it. So again, a great tool for your realtors. Hey, if you got an investor, he buys a house, put it on the market, someone comes along and wants to buy it, and you want to sell it before that 90-day period is from when you bought it to when you want to sell it is not up, call us, because we can do the deal. And we require 2 appraisals and the home inspection to make sure that there's no health or safety issues. And if that passes muster, these things go through as smoothly as a traditional transaction.
So again, a great way to get in with the real estate agents.
A wonderful conversation piece with the realtors. And then I think lastly, fourth and foremost, is what you guys do, and even before you guys jumped aboard with this Real Pro thing, and I'm telling you, I am getting a wonderful response. Team R&B is an example. Anybody can call them right now. They have 14 deals active right now because of our site.